Hello, Foxies and Foxes. It's your girl, Silver Fox Sonia. And yes, I know it has been some time since the last podcast in April. However, now listen, I received your DMs, I received your emails, and even those, hey girl, what's really going on? Tell me the real story. So today I'm answering your DMs, your calls, your emails with a story I have here for you. So today, July the 18th, 2025, marks exactly 1 year from the day I gave my retirement notice. And it hit me. This is the perfect day to finally open up and tell y'all the real story, the journey, the ups, the downs, the favoritism, the crazy nepotism, and the moment when God Himself whispered, your time is done. I never imagined this moment would come like this. Not with tears, not with silence, not with weariness clinging to my spirit. I thought I'd retire full of joy with a celebration loud enough to echo down every hallway I walked for 20 plus years. Check, that did happen. I thought there'd be hugs. Check, there were hugs. And one of those corny cakes that says, we'll miss you even when you know some of the folks won't. It wasn't a corny cake, it was a sweet ending to a new beginning with cupcakes, cookies, and a Sunday bar. And I thought there would be a speech from management, not only thanking me, but my other coworker and teammate that I had worked with over these 14 years. A speech thanking us for being high performers, for our devotion and dedication, not only to Shell, but to our team. But that's not how the story went. I gave the speech, lifting up my coworker that was retiring with me, depositing into my team members that I had worked so closely with over the last 14 to 20 years, hoping and praying that when I depart, someone will pick up the torch of encouragement to carry on within the group. So here I go, the story of the oil ran out, and so did I, screaming, can someone frack, FRAC, this vessel? And for those of you that do not know what frac is a a term in the oil and gas industry that they use when they pour into a well, they pour oil into a well to produce more oil. So this vessel was screaming, can somebody please frack me? So this is the first reflection of retirement, or the first retirement reflection. After 29 years in the oil and gas industry, 20 of those years at Shell, I officially retired from the industry on February 4th, 2025. Now, I always thought I'd retire on my own terms and reaching my full 80 points with healthcare lined up, boxes packed neatly, and a peace in my heart. But life, stress, and whispers from God had other plans. For 30 years, I poured myself into a career that demanded everything: energy, focus, multitasking on overdrive, and strength in the face of chaos. And for 14 of those years, I worked in a toxic environment. I didn't call it that for a long time. I just kept pushing, being the glue, the light, the one who made people laugh and lifted spirits, even when mine was dragging. I was the strong one, but even strong people have breaking points. It was May 1st, 2024, a day I will never forget. On that day, several of my coworkers decided to work from home, and I found myself sitting alone. No lunch plans, no laughter at my desk like usually there was, just stillness. I was burnt out, running on fumes. A few colleagues walked by and asked, "Why are you sitting here by yourself?" Some even invited me to move, but for once I declined. Not because I was being rude, but because I just didn't have it in me. I was tired in my body, tired in my mind, and most of all, tired in my spirit. And that day, in that quiet space, I did something I hadn't done in a while. I listened. I reflected on the work, the way I was being treated, how the shoe just didn't fit anymore. I prayed. Then I came back from lunch and returned to my desk. I stepped away for a moment, and as I came back, I heard it. "You're done." It was a whisper, clear as day. It stopped me in my tracks. I'm standing in the middle of the aisle. I looked around. There's no one there. I asked, "Lord, is that you?" "I'm done." I leaned in. Am I done with this job and position or the whole company? Hmm. Foxes, I heard nothing. And sometimes silence from God is confirmation enough. Still, I had questions for a whole month and a half. I heard his voice, yet scared to move. And I'm questioning, "Lord, how will I live?" The 15th and the last day of the month was important to me. What about my son's education? My bills? Lord, I don't have no sugar daddy to help me pay these bills over here. And what we gonna do? I was like, okay, yeah, Lord, I know. It's been you and me all these years. It will continue to be you and me. But the 15th and the last day of the month, what am I gonna do? So then I'm like, my travel plans. I got all these vacations I want to go on and things I want to do. Am I going to be able to vacation, Lord? And then it hit me. My teammates, the ones I had been working with the past 14 years, the ones I prayed for daily, the ones I laughed with, the ones I covered for when they needed to be on vacation, and just the daily encouragement. I wrestled with the whisper of "you're done" for weeks. So That's May 1st. We get to June 2024. Now, this was the month I hit my 20-year anniversary with the company. Normally, this milestone is celebrated. An announcement, a team shout out, a lunch, and a dinner with your invited guests. Standard company celebrations that they do for people as they hit the 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 40-year mark. It was the acknowledgement and recognition for the time you have been with the company. But none of that happened. I had to remind them. And even then, it still wasn't brought up in our department meetings. I eventually scheduled the celebratory dinner myself, sent the meeting notice to my team lead, and invited the people I wanted to attend this celebration. However, on the day of the celebration, the team lead's child was ill. And I get it, I understand. I wasn't upset about that. Life happens. But I also waited to see if I would be asked, hey, have you rescheduled that? Hey, why don't we do it on this day? I couldn't make it this day. Are you available this day? But that never happened either. I understood the message. The love wasn't there anymore. It wasn't until July the 18th that I finally said the words, I'm retiring. Even then, I stayed longer. I stayed to support my team, to make sure they weren't left hanging. I poured into the person who would take my place because I loved my team. They were my work family. But even as I stayed, I saw the signs. They became clear. Then came the retirement announcement. Not the one to the team in our department, but the retirement announcement that my teammate and I were asked to write so it could be published to the company. We wrote them, but unlike others before us, ours were never shared. I couldn't ignore it any longer. As much as I love the people I worked alongside, I couldn't let guilt keep me tied to a place that was grinding me down. I knew the light I carried. I knew the joy I brought. And if truth be told, it had been dark for quite some time. All the light bulbs burned out, the matches all burned, and there was no more kerosene, and I could not save it anymore. So I left. Yes, I left empty, exhausted, and overlooked. But I also left with a seed of something new. Because while I didn't retire full, I'm now on a mission to fill up again, to rest, to restore, to refocus. And now I'm stepping into the next chapter, not with all the answers, but with bold intention. I'm sharing my truth, my testimony, and my wisdom through the Silver Fox Sonia podcast. I'm rediscovering joy. I'm protecting my peace, and I'm no longer sacrificing my spirit just to survive. This isn't the ending I imagined, but it's the beginning I needed. Because sometimes the oil does run out. And when it does, that's when God steps in and shows you what's next. So watch me pivot. Capital P period, I period, V period, capital O period, capital T. promote intentional visions of tomorrow. So, hey, watch me rise. And most of all, watch me live. So, Foxies, since my retirement letter was not published and presented to all of Shell Trading, I am now going to present it to all of you, my Shell employees that are my Facebook friends, that are now my Foxies. I am now going to read to you the retirement letter that I submitted that was never presented to the company to inform them. So here we go. After 29 years in the industry, Sonia Pinckney has decided to retire. In January 2024, she joined Shell Energy North America as a contractor, confirming crude, financial, and international contracts. By June 2004, she was hired permanently, supporting multiple commercial advisors as a confirmation and contract analyst for the Gulf of Mexico Gas and Power and the commercial and industrial business in the San Diego office. In 2006, she transitioned to scheduling gas, managing over 2.5 million MMBTUs monthly. In 2008, she became a transportation and storage analyst, ensuring seamless information between systems, resolving accounting issues with the Chennai office, and facilitating pipeline contracts, pools, and meter setups. In 2010, she moved to Stusco as a crude lease analyst. From 2010 to 2024, Sonia worked in crude operations. In 2010 to 2016, she was a lease analyst supporting South Texas, North Louisiana, and Arkansas. 2016 to 2021, she was forced into a position as an owner relations analyst supporting royalty interest owners and division orders. 2021 to 2024, she moved back as a senior crude lease analyst supporting West Texas and New Mexico. During her 20 years at Shell, Sonia built strong relationships through participation in Shell networks, such as SBNG, Sepang, Shin, and Wave. And for those who are not Shell employees, these are networks for Shell Black Network, Shell Asian Network, Shell Hispanic Network, and Wave, which is Women Adding Value Everywhere. She served 6 years in Wave, including 4 years as co-chair and chair of 2 committees that consisted of recruitment, onboarding, and internship, and community service. She also dedicated 9 years to the United Way Committee as captain, volunteering with United Way, Young Leaders, Genes Campaign, and Habitat for Humanity. As Sonia retires from Shell, she looks forward to spending time with family, taking a moment to relax, and focusing on her next venture, which is capital P, capital I, capital V, capital O, capital T, promoting intentional visions for tomorrow. So, Foxies, until next time, until the next episode, stay shining, keep pivoting, and keep looking for that silver lining, that hope or a positive aspect in an otherwise negative situation. So I give you a new acronym, which is PTP. Protect that peace. Yes, Foxies, protect your peace. And I will be coming back with more reflections of my 20 years at Shell and answering your questions that you send in your DMs and in your emails. How did you know? What made you do it? Well, like I told you, this is Holy Spirit led, and it's being obedient to God. However, I'm coming to tell my story. of many of the things I experienced, of how I stayed in a place way too long. But until then, Foxies, peace out. I love y'all.